Okay, viewers, we're going to start this video by asking Chat, what's it called? Chat GPT AI, who is Ed HUSIC? Who is Ed HUSIC? Ed HUSIC is an Australian politician and member of the Australian Labor Party. He has been the Federal Member of Parliament for the division of Chifley in Western Sydney since 2010. Now, here's some key facts. He is Edham Nudarin HUSIC, however you pronounce that. He has a Bachelor of Arts. He's a federal MP for Chifley, Minister for Industry and Science. He served in the Albanese government from June 2022. He was a shadow ministry before government. He held various shadow portfolios, etc. HUSIC is the first Muslim elected to Australian Federal Parliament. He is also the first Muslim to sit on the federal government front bench and later the first Muslim appointed as a minister in an Australian government. He grew up in Western Sydney as the son of Bosnian Muslim immigrant parents. Before entering federal politics, HUSIC was involved in union work, including serving as National President of Communications, Electrical and Plumbing, the Plumbing Union. So, Ed HUSIC is a Muslim. He's a minister in the Labor Party, and now he's going to be interviewed. Let's find out this man's mindset. This lady's interestingly Jewish. I've forgotten her name. It's not Shari Markson, it's the other lady. I can't remember her name. Do excuse me, but she's a really good interviewer. Let's go.
I want to bring in now Labor MP Ed HUSIC. He joins me here at the desk. Ed, it's really good to see you. We've been speaking a bit over the last couple of days. This is so difficult for the Bondi Beach community, the Jewish community. But can you give us the perspective from your constituency, the people of Western Sydney and the Muslims that you know?
Now, let's mark the question. Can you... I want her to say that again. Watch this. Watch the question.
For the Bondi Beach community, the Jewish community. But can you give us the perspective from your constituency, the people of Western Sydney and the Muslims that you know?
Can you tell us what the Muslims in Western Sydney are saying about the Islamist jihadist massacre in Bondi? That's the question. Can you tell us what the Muslims in Western Sydney are saying about the Islamic jihadist massacre in Bondi? That's the question. Now watch this.
I think we're all Australians, so we, regardless of...
Okay, so if we're all Australians, we need to live with the Australian way of life, right?
we live or what our backgrounds are. I think yesterday, burying a 10-year-old girl who was deliberately named by her immigrant parents to forge a bond with a new homeland in Matilda, she deserved a life rich of experience.
Okay, so now we're getting a narrative on the personality and character of the Jewish victims. The question was, Mr. HUSIC, what are the Muslims in Western Sydney telling you? What are they saying about the Islamic jihadist massacre in Bondi?
And happiness and joy, and that was robbed by a heinous act of terrorism.
It was robbed by an heinous act of Islamic jihadism.
At a really special time for the Jewish community, Hanukkah.
He doesn't look convincing. He doesn't look confident. He doesn't look comfortable at all.
You can't claim to be a person of faith and undertake that act of terrorism, and particularly at a time that's religiously significant for Abrahamic brothers and sisters.
Wrong. If you're being taught that jihad is the ultimate expression of your religion, given the Islamic texts, unless we're going to rip out pages and listening to the clerics, because there is a part of the Islamic Muslim community that would be rejoicing and glad for the heroes of this act, right? This guy is not going to say that it's a Muslim Islamic jihadist problem that's caused this.
It's just wrong. And I just, at a time of grieving.
Okay, so you can see the shallowness in his breath, in the tones of his words. He is not answering the question. He has not shared one thing that a Muslim has said out of Western Sydney yet.
And at a time of mourning, we need to stand as one with people. And we also need...
We must have to mean the Muslim communities of Western Sydney. I'm sure there's an element of that community that would be standing as one in terms of what the hell have they done this time relative to the radical, fanatical Islamic jihadists in Western Sydney that are encouraged out of the Rita at Lakemba to, if you can find a way, outwork the jihad. And if you do, you'll be highly rewarded, more than the people that do nothing. That's basically what's going on out there. But this guy is not comfortable. He is totally out of sorts. He's lost his composure very early in this interview. We're not even 1.5 minutes in. He's lost his way. He's nowhere near answering the question. Mate, this is what you're dealing with.
We need to acknowledge leaders are important, programs are important, but we can all exercise leadership. And at this point in time, my view is anti-Semitism isn't a fight just for Jewish Australians to undergo. We all stand with them. We're all going to take this on together. Because
but this is his opinion. Let's make this clear. This is his opinion. This is the way he sees things. She asked him, what are the Muslims communities in Western Sydney saying about the Islamic jihadist massacre in Bondi? He is nowhere near answering the question. He's lost his composure. He's actually looks like he's in a trance. This isn't going well for this bloke, for mine, for anybody that's half awake.
People deserve, as I've said many times, to live a life free from fear, free to be who they are.
Free from fear of what? Well, in this case, free from the fear of radical, fanatical Islamic jihad. Right?
Free to practice their faith and free to be Australian, one and all.
But hang on a sec, are they free to be Jewish Australians? Because the Muslims are allowed to be Muslim Australians, right? Australians one and all. Well, I don't see problems coming out of the Jewish communities, the Chinese communities, the Croatian, Turkish, Portuguese communities at the scale of which the Muslim fundamental jihadist Islamics manifest their massacres and stabbings and domestic trouble and all the rest of it that's going on behind the scenes. Remember, the question was, how are your constituents in Western Sydney explaining to you how they see the Islamic jihadist massacre at Bondi, what are they saying to you? He's done everything but answer the question.
So
And he doesn't look comfortable, one bit comfortable. Anybody that can understand body language can see that this guy shouldn't be here. He should not have come and sat in front of a Jewish woman, because the Muslim religion, really, honestly, they haven't got the same respect for their women as what the rest of the world has. Right? The fundamentalists, I'm not saying he's got an issue with women, but the religion puts women in their place. Right? It's got nothing to do with the Western style of associating with women. It's completely different. This man's not comfortable sitting with this Jewish interviewer, I can tell you right now. And why he's done it, I don't know.
This fight of anti-Semitism is a fight that Muslims are fighting too.
We need to.
Yeah.
And I know there are a lot of Muslims.
Okay, so you have to agree with that, because it was a Muslim man who the government nearly sent broke through shutting his shop for 90 days that took the gun out of the radical Islamic jihadist's hands, even though he didn't shoot him, which was probably wise not to, because he would have got in trouble for that. And consequently, he's got himself $2.5 million for that act. So there'll be a lot more heroes in the future when it comes to this kind of thing. I'm not sure they're going to get a payout like that, because there was 2 people shot dead right at the start. And whether their family or not will get any consolation, financial consolation out of that. It ain't going to bring them back, that's for sure. But this lady has just asked, you're saying that the Muslim community want to stand up with the Jewish community. And I have to say, there would be a large part of the Muslim community that would be in regret and dismay and unhappy with what these men have done. I've spoken to some of my Muslim friends, and they're pretty well educated and very highly associated with the Middle East and everything, and they're not happy with what's happened. They're just not happy with what's happened. But unfortunately, there are ones in those communities that are. And they're the radical, fanatical, Islamic jihadists. And you can't tell which ones they are. It's just a matter of when they decide to manifest it. This guy's not comfortable, neither's this lady. Just hang on a sec, I've got to find out her name.
Muslims.
The lady interviewing this man is Laura Jays. She's really, really good journalist.
I believe that as well. Their own experiences would shape them in that. And I've been speaking a lot this week with friends in the Jewish community. And
she was asked about, what are you learning from the Muslim community that you've been speaking to? So he's gone so far left of right field, he's completely out of touch with the question, right? Again, we've got a severe case, a very severe case of cognitive dissonance.
With friends in the Muslim community, with leaders in both, and speaking with rabbis as well, and I've said to them, to the point I've made about leadership, I've said to rabbis, like there are a number of things. One is it's been very heavy blocks of trying to move Jewish and Muslim Australians together. One rabbi said to me, we're at a fork in the road. He's absolutely right. And he also said to me something.
Oh no, we're not at a fork in the road, Rabbi. We're standing on the edge. We've gone over the cliff. The Islamic jihadists, right, the Labor government and their political activism for votes has sent Australia over the cliff. Okay? We're not at a fork in the road. Be careful what you listen to, viewers.
That I think we should all be mindful of, which is we choose our hard. We choose our hard.
Every path is hard from here.
Correct. That's exactly what he was emphasizing.
We choose our hard. We choose our hard. Come on, buddy. Okay, so the hard thing for you is, how do we root out of this country radical Islamic jihad? We have to deport them, we have to arrest them, and you have to help. That's going to be hard for him, isn't it? She's not comfortable. If you look at her body language, the shoulders are in defense mode, the face is cautious. He's totally out of his step. This woman's very strong, Laura Jays.
Emphasising, I am one person, but I'm committed to it in my role. And just as a person, as I said to you, my folks came from a country that shredded itself with ethnic and religious hatred, and I'm always motivated to play a part in bringing people together.
Yeah.
We got to do that.
But is he ready to play a part in pulling down fundamental Islamic jihad in his community? And I'm not convinced. This guy's got to protect his votes, or he don't have a job. He's a career politician, 15 years. He'd be up to his neck in it. He'd know everything, this bloke.
We've got to recognise the hurt. And the other thing is too, I just think what we don't need right now is whataboutism.
Yeah.
We don't need
Now
that.
listen to this nonsense. What about? We do need what about. What if about the Labor government had to stop the Sydney marches? What about if the Labor government had to come down hard on setting the Jewish synagogues on fire? What if we had to come down hard with all these Palestinian protests? Oh yeah, what about? I think there's a large case to say this may not have happened. There's no fear for those that want to go right into the fundamental Islamic jihadism in Australia. There's been no fear, right? They'd be laughing at blokes like this. His constituency's probably mostly made up of Muslims. But the hardcore fanatical radicals in his constituency, he's just a puppet. That's all he is. And you can tell by the way he talks, he's very feminine. Okay, he's very, very complacent. He's just a puppet for what's going on out there.
When you say whataboutism, is it?
Look at her. She is not comfortable at all. When you say whataboutism, watch this.
And I haven't seen this after Sunday, to be fair, but do you mean that you're not about to sit here and say, well, there's been Islamophobia as well?
Yeah. Well, this isn't the time for that, though I do think we always should recommit ourselves to driving out racism and importantly...
Now listen for a minute. Islamophobia is a hoax. It's a load of crap, just like Christianophobia. Right? It's a load of crap. People don't like Christians. People don't like Islamism. Right? Now, the worst thing that a Christian's going to do to you is say you're going to hell. You go home and they go home. And that's the end of it. Can't go any further than that. Right? But with Islamism and their scripts and texts and scriptures, you've got the option. If they don't agree, jihad's an option. Someone's going to die. You've got permission by the scriptures to do it. Now, you may not have permission by certain Islamic clerics to go ahead and do that, given you're in a Western country, but they will, because the authority of the text in the mind and heart of the radical will outweigh any human authority that's before them, because they want to make God happy or stop him from being sad. They want to please Allah.